December 5th through 13th, we'll be in the streets of Paris covering the activist response to COP21, the UN Climate Summit. Lines will be drawn, literally. We are the people over profit for planet. Exclusive interviews, insight, and daily coverage of events on the ground. From tweets to marching in the streets, this is Act Out in Paris. So the concept of politics following culture is something that I've talked about a lot, and it's something that I believe in a lot as well. If you just look at the history of mankind, you can see that there's been no important and long-standing socio-political change without culture pushing it there first. I mean, the French Revolution comes to mind because I'm sitting in Paris, but you could look at pretty much anything, the civil rights movement, the anti-war movement around Vietnam, you name it. Politics do follow culture, and currently our culture of vapidity speaks to the political vapidity that we see everywhere from the primaries to local politics. So, this idea of culture pushing for socio-political change and, in fact, climate justice is something that is very prescient here in Paris for COP21. So what you're about to see is Anais, who works with Art COP21 at the Gaite, Lyrique, which is a venue in Paris. Basically, they're known as the Center of Culture for Climate, and she will explain what that means and why culture is so important for climate justice. So without further ado, here is Anais explaining the cultural side of climate justice. So we are here at Le Gaite Lyrique in Paris for COP21, and I'm here with Anais? Anais, okay. So the Gaite Lyrique is called the headquarters for culture for climate. Explain what that means.
So during 10 days, we have here at the Gaite Lyrique a series of talks, conferences, meetings, interviews, performances, screenings with artists all coming from all over the world. And the idea is to gather together and to say that we are here because we want to show our cultural response toward climate challenge. And to show that creativity can be a solution and a way of finding new ways of sustainable living.
So why is the cultural part of the response, why is that so important? Why is culture so important in climate change?
Culture is really important because we've seen that for now we only have political answers and scientific solutions, and we realize that we don't find any real solution for climate change, and we are not asking artists to save the planet, but really want to put the culture on the political agenda of the negotiations and to show to what extent artists can be excellent leaders and stakeholders of creative solutions, and they also have other ways of expression and other means to inform people and to give to touch and reach people by emotion and help developing their imagination rather than just putting like complex information and scientific numbers that nobody understands and everybody feels really weak. We want to demonstrate through the arts that people have the power to change the world.
So you're really, through what's happening here at Gaite Lyrique, you're really working on changing people's minds through art, right?
Exactly. We really want to foster a cultural shift toward a culture of ecology, and demonstrate that we as culture are really a good and excellent example of integrating sustainable development in the culture sector, and also to show how artists are really have a leadership in this field.
So tell me just real quick, what are some of the events that have happened that you think are some of the best, or what are some of the installations that are really great? Just mention a couple.
We have really co-produced, for example, really beautiful installation at Canal de Lourdes at La Villette, which is a scientific venue. We work with the British artist Michael Pinsky, and the artwork is called "Breaking the Surface," Sleeping Water. And what he did is that he took from the canal all the garbage that people used to throw. For example, you find bicycles, you find fridge, you find whatever, a lot of stuff. And he just took these things and cleaned them up, and he put them underwater, and he created like a light installation and sound installation, and it really works very well because it's on the one side it's really poetic, and on the other side people are at the same time really shocked to see what happens if everybody does the same. The idea is really to show what happens if everybody starts throwing things away, and the impact it can have on a global society.
And of course, it's an interesting commentary on what is beneath the surface, that the climate change that we don't see.
Exactly, it's really, and that is a huge work artists are doing in climate change now, is really make visible what people don't see and can't see, because you can't feel climate change, and actually the impacts are real.
Well, that's fantastic. And where can people go to find out more about the installations and see things past COP21?
They can go on our website, Occupy.com, because actually this was a huge work we did from Koala and Cape Farewell. The first idea of Art COP21 was this cultural response to climate change, and we really wanted to create a global movement on art and climate. And this is why we created this online platform where we communicate and centralize and publish all the events, all the art and climate events that take part all around the world from September to December. And we now have about 560 events happening in more than 55 countries. So it really, it's a huge success.
And will this continue past COP21? Do you have plans to continue the cultural response to climate change after?
Yeah, sure. Actually, the Art COP21 is a program, and our organization is really focused on contemporary art and ecology. So, of course, we'll follow up with this issue, and we already have some project to go further. For example, create more leadership in the cultural sector at the European and international level.